Do you want to know the best way to win your Orion Drift games? Well, you've come to the right place. In this video, we'll be talking about the meta of Orion Drift. If you want to see a specific part of this video, use the timestamps on the video or in the description. First, before we talk about the different metas of Orion Drift, what is a meta? Meta stands for most efficient tactics available. In other words, the best strategies to help you win more games. Most games only have one meta, but in the early state of Orion Drift, there's no clear meta. So we'll be talking about the two main metas used by pros in Orion Drift. I'll be talking about the pros and cons of each meta of Orion Drift, and talk about how these metas could change Orion Drift. The two metas we will be talking about is the passing meta and the regrab meta. The passing meta is used by Pug and his team that has recently brought home the first place trophy in the recent Orion Drift tournament. This meta shows how hard Orion Drift will be. This meta shows that you need perfect communication with your team in order to push together and make some passing plays into the goal. The way they won their games was from passing, and being in the perfect position to block the other team from scoring. Pros about this meta is that if you have a perfect team, you can easily pass the ball and juke your opponents to set up an easy goal. It's also just satisfying to pass away from one side to the other side with your friends. The cons are simple. You have to practice hours with your team in order to get perfect team harmony. And if you're just a guy who doesn't play for a team, forget it. The regrab meta was used by Condog and his team. They recently got third place in the same tournament. This meta focuses heavily on regrabbing, so much that Condog and his team got nicknamed the regrabbing team. Regrabbing allows two players to easily move up the field fast and set up for an easy pass into the goal. This meta doesn't use as much team communication, because most of the time teammates are holding on to each other, and when the time is right, they pounce. The cons are that this meta can easily be countered, as in the tournament, teams were already finding ways to counter Condog's team. Although the passing meta uses more team communication, the regrab meta is more team reliant, and you need to keep an eye out to see where your teammates are in order to score goals. This meta would lead to Orion Drift becoming a very fast-paced game, and team communication would be hard to pull off in the heat of a match. There you have it. In my opinion, I think the passing meta is here to stay, but over time as the game evolves, so will the meta. I'm excited to see what Orion Drift has to offer when the game is released in early 2025. Tell me what meta you are interested in the comments. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.